Now to Shaun Bailey with me in the studio throughout the show today. Shaun, this is the most remarkable development, of course. It was not the only killing that we've seen in recent days in Liverpool itself, but certainly not the only killing we've seen in the country either. The murder of the 87-year-old in London, in Manchester, the abduction of a 6-year-old girl, the shooting of a 9-year-old girl in Liverpool. Across the country, it seems, we're facing a crime spree.
I think there's two things to be said first. Let's separate out. These are very, very extreme happenings. The shooting of a 9-year-old girl in Liverpool is unbelievably bad, and we need to give the police the time and the community the time to resolve that situation so we can understand what's happened and solve it there. But the broader message is this. What is it now happening in the country that making criminals so bold? And I believe it's that we have failed to back the police when they need to. We now have a police force that's worried that it's going to lose any trial it has in the newspapers. The court of public opinion, if you believe the press, is always against the police, so the police are a bit worried. And why that's important? Because the single biggest driver of crime is sanctioned detentions, and that has taken a nosedive over the last 5 or 6 years. And by that, what I mean is how many people are actually caught and prosecuted. Now, if you're a criminal and you believe you're going to get away with it, there's a huge incentive to try it. And that's the thing we need to focus on now. I believe, particularly in London, in the major cities, London, Manchester, etc., we've had the police looking at the wrong things. Yes, the police's focus on violence is correct and should remain, but we have them looking at spending hours and hours and hours monitoring people online when actually they should be monitoring people on the streets.
A really, really profound thing to say there, of course, because we have seen this general sense of lawlessness. I've seen a few videos in the last few days on social media of gangs of kids just running into shops, running into restaurants and stealing things with, I suppose, a sense of group impunity. They don't think they're going to get arrested. They don't think they're going to have any negative consequences from breaking the law.
And unfortunately, they're right. If you look at the number of people, for instance, who are prosecuted for knife possession, for use, etc., it's very, very low. And even though I have concentrated on the police, I think that we need to add to this as well the judicial system. Because people often say to me, do we need tougher laws? Do we need longer sentences? Actually, no. What we need to do is use the system we already have, impose that. Now, the strike by the barristers actually shows you where some of the weaknesses in the system. We do need to put more funds in that system. We do need a court system that reacts really well, very quickly, and sends a message. If you break the law, you'll be pursued quickly. That's important. And if you want to talk about particular tactics, many, many moons ago, over 10 years ago, I suggested we should use tagging far more liberally, to coin a term. We should be giving these tags out as if they're smarties, because what stops criminals is the idea that the police know where they are and know what they're doing. And why a tag is particularly good, because if we think it's too harsh or that person has served their time, as it were, you can take it away. It doesn't completely destroy their liberty. It gives them a chance to rebuild a life. But currently, we're filling jails, using them as warehouses, and people are coming straight back out and reoffending.
And that's crucial, because